Hi class, I wanted to share a quick video going over your very last paper. It is your largest assignment. It's worth 300 points. So I wanted to make sure that I took, excuse it, sorry, I have a little helper here. I wanted to walk you through it to make sure we are all on the same page and hopefully make it go a little bit more smoothly for you. So basically for this last assignment, you're developing a training handout on how to develop and manage multicultural teams. Now notice culture here, we're not talking just about multiple ethnicities or races. We're talking about culture. This can encompass things like gender, age, religion, disabilities. All of these would be considered different types of a culture. So that will come in handy when you look at the first point of the training handout, which is that you should cover dimensions of a multicultural team, and that's basically what I just told you. Things like gender, age, ethnicity, all of those are various dimensions of a multicultural team. So start out the training handout discussing the different types of demographics basically that you might have on your team. Next, you want to spend some time covering the discrimination laws and how they're going to impact the team. So this could be the Civil Rights Act, the Age Discrimination and Employment Act, the Americans with Disabilities Act. Any of those would fall under laws that you should cover here. Third, you're going to look at affirmative action programs. This is a little bit different than the discrimination laws. You should specifically be looking at affirmative action, perhaps what a affirmative action plan would look like in an organization and how that would impact the team. Fourth, you're going to be looking at how to build an inclusive culture within the team. This is something that we talked a lot about the very first week of discussion. So if you get stuck, go back to the week 1 of discussion and read some posts. And a lot of your classmates had really great ideas on how to build an inclusive culture. So there's a lot of great tips there. Next, look through some challenges of managing a multicultural team. This is another thing that we've talked about throughout the past 5 weeks. So I think everyone should pretty easily handle that one. Next, some recommendations for improving communications. That's pretty straightforward. If you get stuck on any of these, feel free to email me, call me, text me, and I can give you some ideas. Finally, modeling and leading diversity, acceptance, and change. This is when you're really driving home to the managers why it's important for them to model and really be the people pursuing diversity, acceptance, and change. I expect this to be about 6 to 8 pages. That's where the content is 6 to 8 pages. That doesn't count your title page or references. It is a training handout, so feel free to use bullet points or anything to really organize your paper. Make sure I can tell where each of the sections are. You should start out with an executive summary. This is really just going over everything that will be in the handout, essentially this list that you see right here in front of you. And then make sure you have a conclusion to really drive home 3 important concepts that you learned while researching this topic. Of course, make sure that you have at least 3 resources to justify all your responses. Your textbook should be included to this. Make sure your sources are scientific. And everything should be in APA format. That means in-text citations throughout the training handout, as well as applied to your references. Looking at the rubric here is another way to make sure you have covered everything. You can go through that rubric to kind of double check that you have all the points. I see one thing that's left out often is the executive summary, so you can see that's worth 20 points. Make sure you don't forget that. And another thing that's frequently left out is the summary of 3 important concepts. So that's worth 28 points. Don't forget either one of those. The style is worth 8 points. Make sure it kind of looks like a training handout. You don't need to write this just as any other paper in paragraph format. I encourage you to use headers and separations and bullet points. All of those would help organize it and make it more easily digestible for your audience. I think that's everything. So that's worth 300 points. So I really hope you can take the time to really put good research and thought into this paper. I look forward to reading them. Please don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. I answer the fastest by email or text, but please also feel free to call me if you're more comfortable that way. Have a good day.